ARCA Menards Series. It is a proving ground.
We're going to jump in this thing, turn left.
Door-to-door, side by side for the lead. We brought the mullet to the ARCA Series, baby.
I've never felt more freedom than ripping in a pack of 40 cars.
3-1 for the race lead as they go to turn one. Here they come to the checkered flag.
This is going to be a great season for ARCA.
Welcome to Elko, New Market, Minnesota, race number 8 of the ARCA Menards Series in 2025. It's the Short Lunch 250 presented by Dutch Boy. Saturday night short track racing. It's tough to beat 3/8 of a mile oval. And we got weather tonight. Boy, do we. Unseasonably hot. It reached 95 degrees. The sun been baking down on this track all day long. And into the night, it's now 91 here in Minnesota. I'm really glad you're along. Brent Stover alongside Phil Parsons. Second straight short track here in the ARCA Menards Series this season. I think the headline has got to be right there with the weather. This is already an elbows up, very physical racing track for these drivers. It's going to be an added challenge tonight.
Yeah, and the weather just compounds that too. We're probably 20 degrees hotter than we were for this race last year. And you mentioned this is a 3/8 mile track, the shortest racetrack that the ARCA Menards Series goes to. So it's good, and there's no time to rest. This little short track, these drivers are going to be working every second around this racetrack.
Just had that short track last week in this same part of the country, more in Michigan at Berlin. This one a little bit different, though. When you talk about the ARCA Menards Series, it really is about the diversity of tracks.
Yeah, we have 6 intermediate tracks, and that ranges everywhere from the mile at Phoenix to the 2-mile racetrack at Michigan. 8 short tracks, as you mentioned. This is number 2 of 8. The majority of our races for the rest of the year are on short tracks, so you have to be good on those. Super Speedways, Daytona, Talladega, a couple road courses, and a couple mile dirt tracks. It's a diverse schedule, probably the most diverse schedule in all of America.
All right, last year, 1 year ago on this track, it provided a 3-wide thriller in the end.
It's a short track Saturday night on the 3/8 of a mile oval, and we are racing in Elko. William Sawalich in the number 18. What else is new? He has been the fastest man on the track all season long. Sawalich gets turned around. We've got Lightning, we've got LeVar Scott, and we've got Chris Wright to the underneath of the 18, 3 wide. Off the turn, Sawalich sideways, 3 wide, 3 sideways at the line.
It's in front of the home crowd. This is awesome. I mean, this is the coolest thing ever.
The thrill of victory for William Sawalich in the 18, one of 9 victories for him last year. On the flip side, for LeVar Scott, the agony of defeat, and he has had a lot of sleepless nights since. One guy that hasn't had a lot of sleepless nights would be Brendan Queen with 3 victories already this season.
Yeah, let's take a look at the guys that have won this year. You see, you mentioned 3 wins by Brendan Queen. Brent Cruz won for Gibbs out at Phoenix. Lawless Allen got his first ever career win at Talladega. And then Austin Green and Trayton Lapsevich, our last 2 winners, also first-time winners. So Trayton Lapsevich dominated that race at Berlin, but he's not here.
No. He drove that 70, and now the 70, that same exact car, is the 25 this week. We will dissect that throughout the night. So, speaking of Butterbean Queen, he won the pole earlier tonight with a really fast couple of laps in qualifying.
Yeah, and we talked to him down in the garage here, and he was really embarrassed by what happened at Berlin. He finished 4th. He didn't have a bad run, but he was really distraught over that run. He said, I have to make amends, and man, has he done it in a big way so far.
General Tire Pole Award went to that number 28 car, and really not a surprise because now he's learned in 1 week to make the adjustments with the short track racing.
Yeah, Brendan Queen, he's going to be a threat. Everywhere we go, obviously, he's proven that by winning 3 different races at 3 different racetracks. So he's going to be a threat everywhere, and especially tonight.
He says driving into turn 3 on this track is kind of like driving into a hole. 1 and 2, a little bumpier, so he's kind of learning as he goes. For that 28 car, he will certainly be one of the favorites. Up front, we've got 5 or 6 really good race cars. It's going to be a fun one here, Phil.
Yeah, without a doubt. We've got that right there at Max Reeves and that 18 car. Remember, 3 wins and 3 starts in the East Series. He made his National Series debut at Berlin last week. Got a runner-up finish, so this guy's not finished worse than second in that car this year.
And we've already documented it. LeVar Scott still searching for that first career win, but he's been so consistent, always in the top 5. Let's go trackside for tonight's command of fire engines.
The COO from Homegrown Family Foods, Keith Vines, with the most famous words in motorsport. Drivers, start your engines!
Keith Vines with the command. It's the ARCA Menards Series. Race number 8, Shore Lunch 250, presented by Dutch Boy on Fox when we come back to Elko Speedway in Minnesota.
Welcome to Elko Speedway, a 3/8 of a mile oval here in Minnesota.
It is anyone's game at Elko.
Big time fun.
There's the contact.
Good racing right here. This is how it's supposed to be done.
Minnesota loves the ARCA Menards Series tour racing out front.
That's just good old short track racing, I guess.
The thrills of Elko Speedway. Short track on a Saturday night in a packed house is always, even with the heat index over 100 today, they have come out pounding rookie spotlight and a young man who grew up just down the road in Northfield, Minnesota, Ty Fredrickson.
I think every one of those fans we just showed is rooting for this guy because when he qualified, the crowd erupted, had a great quality effort. Only 16 years old, but you see he was a Wiki Development Program champion from last year, and that's more than just what the results were on the racetrack, too.
Yeah, many hours of community service involved, and he absolutely aced all the tests before him and getting a big opportunity tonight. From row starters, we talked about Brendan Queen for the second time. He is on the ARCA Menards Series pole, and Max Reeves, another young, up-and-coming superstar driving that 18 for Joe Gibbs.
15 years old. Remember, this is the car that won that race. We saw that great video of that amazing finish from last year. That was that same 18 car with the same crew, Matt Ross, calling the shots.
Reeves drove that 18 at Berlin last Saturday night and finished second behind the 70 of Trayton Lapsevich. We look at the rest of the starting grid here. Lawless Allen, who won at Talladega, starts third. Talked about Fredrickson. And then Isabella Robusto has got to be a favorite as well. And Jason Kitzmiller with a nice drive in qualifying this afternoon as well.
Yeah, how about 5 females in this race tonight, and 3 of those starting in the top 10. Becca Monopoly with an outstanding qualifying run, qualifying 10th.
Taylor Reimer is one to watch as well in that 70 car. She will start 8th. Bryce Hageberg on the front stretch is stalled in that Bison Mobile. He goes to North Dakota State, and he majors in mechanical engineering and does racing on the side, and North Dakota State sponsors him. It's awesome.
I wish my college would have sponsored me. All I did is get in trouble for missing days.
Exactly. 21 years of age. Unfortunately, he has stalled it here. So we'll see if he can get that thing up to speed, that number 11 car, green and yellow. Well, we have been here all afternoon long, and I got to tell you, there is not much better than spending a Saturday afternoon and evening at a short track in the Midwest, and this is going to be a really good race tonight, and it's been a cool event every year since they've been coming here.
Yeah, let's take a look at the track description. You mentioned it, 3/8 of a mile, 0.375. That progressive banking, 7 degrees on the bottom, up to 11 degrees at the top. That's what makes this racetrack really raceable. There is a second lane, there is an outside groove, and you can see the track opened in 1965.
How about the race analysis as we get set to go here at Elko?
Yeah, pretty long race, 250 laps. Remember, last week was only 200 laps at Berlin, a little bit longer racetrack, a little bit over 93 miles. We're going to have 2 race breaks on or around laps 75 and 175. You can see William Sawalich, as we saw earlier, was the winner last year. And the first race here was in 2012, and that was won by Xfinity driver Brendan Poole.
And LeVar Scott will start 7th in the number 6 car, and he had the lead on the final lap of that race. As we documented the Open, he brought it up to you a couple of times, including during his meet and greet with the fans earlier this evening. He has had a lot of sleepless nights. He's shed some tears over that, but he's out to get his first career victory again here tonight.
Yeah, and that's what I was telling him. He may win 100 races, but he's never going to get that one back.
Yeah.
And that's gonna hurt.
Pace car pulls off. Set to go. Race number 8 of the season in the ARCA Menards Series. Brendan Queen in the 28 on the bottom. On the outside is the 18 of Max Reeves. Green flag in the air. Reeves way up the racetrack. You just talked about 2 good racing crews here. Trying to pull door to door with that 28 of Brendan Queen, the pole sitter.
Reeves is staying right there as well, doing a nice job on the outside. A little bit better bite up off the corner. He's got a bit, almost a car length on Butterbean.
Reeves going to try to pull down and lead this race. Max Reeves slides up the track a little bit there, but he does, pulls down, and Max Reeves in the 18 after a runner-up finish last Saturday night leads here at Elko.
There's Isabella Robusto in the 55 car. Remember, she had a top 5 finish here last year. She finished 4th. Right behind her teammate, Ty Fredrickson, that we talked about, the Bonnie Rookie Spotlight. There's LeVar Scott trying to work to the inside of Isabella.
And he moves her up the track a little bit, hitting that left rear quarter panel of the 55. We said it would be good racing and elbows up. They are wasting no time tonight.
And it'll be like that all night long as well. No time to rest on this racetrack. You can watch that 18 of Max Reeves. He never gets straight. He's constantly turning.
You talked about throttle control last week, kind of the same type of thing here on this short track as well.
Here's how Reeves got the lead, Brady. Worked to the outside. He got a good grip up off the corner. Really critical forward drive at this racetrack. He had it and got that lead.
And he's built it out to about 6/10 on the 28 car. Perhaps a Reese's sweet move up the race, and you can visit ARCARacing.com Monday 3 Eastern to see who is indeed crowned the Reese's sweet move of the race.
So 24 cars started this race, and they fill up this racetrack, don't they?
Yes. Yes, they do. It's now nearly a 1-second lead for the 18 car of Reeves as he goes around lap traffic, and he is really making that outside groove work.
Remember, we talked about that 18 car, same team led by Matt Ross that won this race last year. First time the 28 team led by Stephen Dawson has been here, so obviously a little local knowledge for that 18 bunch.
Working lap 11 of 250 here at Elko. How about your keys going into the night, Phil?
And let's start at the first part of the corner, entrance security. These cars can get really loose, which means the back end wants to swing out as they enter the corner. And then center turn is always important. Every racetrack we go to, getting that car pointed and going the other direction. And then forward bite, as we mentioned it a couple times, getting those rear tires hooked up to the racetrack, extremely critical here.
LeVar Scott trying to get to the inside of the 55 Robusto. This is the battle for 5th.
He's going to have some lap cars to negotiate. There wasn't any room there, I don't think.
Great stuff early on, lap 13.
The 25 is ahead of Isabella. Ty Fredrickson, again, local driver. His grandparents actually used to own this racetrack.
His dad told me when he was a teenager, he said, I grew up right behind the grandstand here. When I was a teenager, I used to actually come and clean the track. Like, he worked here long hours.
Yeah, Ty's dad, Dan, is an accomplished racer as well. Looks like LeVar may be thinking about trying to see if there's some room to the outside to try to make the move on Isabella.
He's tried about everything on that 55 in the opening 15 laps here.
Yeah, I think LeVar Scott was really good in practice. I think he has a little bit faster car right now, but he's showing some patience to try to make his move. And he's going to get to the inside this time.
He sticks it down in there into the turn of the 6 car. Trying to take 5th away from Robusto.
Wisely backs off a little bit as they went by a lap car.
LeVar Scott with a 4th place, a 5th, a 6th, then another 5th, a 3rd, and back-to-back 5ths entering tonight.
Yeah, 6th, his worst finish all year. That's why he's where he is, contending for this point championship. And I think he'll be there all year.
21 years of age from Carneys Point, New Jersey, running for Rev Racing. Max Reeves, meantime, 0.8 of a second lead over the rest of the field. Brendan Queen, who won the pole but gave up the lead early on in this one, is running second.
Ted Max is doing an outstanding job, and I thought he did a really nice job last week at Berlin. Really showed some patience, has a good head on his shoulders, and he's got a Hall of Famer, Bobby Labonte, in his corner as a driver, coach, and a mentor. So what can go wrong?
You know, if we would have hung out much longer, Bobby was going to give me some good stories on you, Phil. You made a good business decision to get out of there. He was giving me some material.
I'm glad we left that.
By the way, happy birthday. I don't know if you wanted me to bring it up, but happy birthday.
Well, you did anyway. So.
I did.
Thank you very much.
I did. You don't look a day over 40. Reeves by 1.3 seconds. The battle for 7th. Kitzmiller trying to hold off the 70 of Taylor Reimer.
This is her first ARCA start on pavement. She ran the dirt races probably 3 times. She had a 3rd place finish last year in one of the dirt races, but she's been doing some late model racing in and around North Carolina. She actually went to Victory Lane at Hickory, North Carolina, very famous short track, as well as Tri-County. So she's doing a nice job in her transition from dirt to pavement.
You and I were at Kansas back in early May, and she was part of that 4-hour testing session the morning of that race, and she told us today she learned a lot, and that's one of the races she's got on her schedule the rest of the way, is the 2nd trip in the ARCA Series at Kansas later on.
Yeah, she's doing a nice job here. She's racing with Kitzmiller. He's 4th in points. He's had a couple top 5 finishes this year, so Taylor's doing a nice job.
It's Kitzmiller in 7th, Reimer in 8th, and we've got our first caution of the night. At lap 26, a spinner, and that's the 7 car, the youngster Cadence Davenport from Slater, Iowa. 20 years of age, one of 5 young women in this race here tonight at Elko Speedway in the Shore Lunch 250, presented by Dutch Boy, with Max Reeves, the youngster, out in front of Brendan Butterbean Queen early on a Saturday night on the shortest track of the schedule. ARCA Racing on Fox is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. And by Bounty. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. Inside the Mall of America, you tried to get me to go on that roller coaster.
You wouldn't do it either.
I wouldn't do it. No. I'm a little more fearful of heights and spins than you are.
What a great crowd on hand.
Shore Lunch 250 presented by Dutch Boy, race number 8 of the season. The 48 of Brad Smith, 450th career ARCA Menards Series start here tonight for the 56-year-old from Shelby Township, Michigan.
You know, when we talk about for the love of the game, that is Brad Smith epitomized right there, for the love of the game.
Yep, number 450. So pretty cool stuff. 3rd most in series history. Speaking of, had a great chat as always with Frank Kimmel down in the infield earlier tonight. He's one of the legends, obviously, of the ARCA Menards Series. They have stopped the cars here, still working on that 7 of Davenport. She spun out.
I think I would just hook a record to the back of that thing and just pull it off the grass there.
Put her on the hook and pull her off. Well, in the meantime, cars are stopped here at Elko. Lap number 32 of 250 in Minnesota. We're back after this. Welcome back to the Shore Lunch 250 presented by Dutch Boy at Fox from Elko Speedway. In the ARCA Menards Series, round number 8 of the season. Back-to-back short tracks after Berlin last week. And the 06 is overheating. That's Brayton Laster who pulled down to pit road.
Yeah, while we were on the red flag, when he shut the engine off, then we saw steam coming from the base of the windshield.
That's obviously Laster in the 06, not LeVar Scott in the 6. Here's that steam coming out of the car, the 06 Laster.
Yeah, once that's the problem when they stop. There's no air circulating through the radiator. It will overheat like that. You know, you push too much water out, then you have serious problems.
06 is back rolling. Good news there for the Vet 2 track car. For Brayton Laster from Greenwood, Indiana, for Wayne Peterson Racing. Nate Moeller on top of his box tonight. So under our first caution, a spin from the 7 car of Cadence Davenport, 20-year-old from Slater, Iowa. Got that cleaned up. Back rolling on lap 36. And there's the 20 waving out the window, Lawless Allen. To find his spot on the track here, 25-year-old from Van Nuys, California, won at Talladega this season.
See the 99 Michael Maples on the inside there. They're trying to get him in position. That's why we have not restarted. I think maybe his radio, they have trouble with his radio, but he definitely doesn't. He's not supposed to be where he is right now.
And I like that it's Lawless Allen trying to direct traffic.
Yeah, I mean,
saying,
the
hey,
law.
you're not, get out.
Law.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've got the law. Liz.
Exactly. Well, they're trying to get Cadence Davenport rolling again.
Same situation with steam coming out at the base of the windshield. That's where the overflow hose goes. Once she gets going and up to speed, that should go away. But again, they just hope they didn't push out too much water.
And two, Phil, she wants to get laps. They got to get her laps. She's a youngster.
Not a doubt.
And we saw in practice today, quite frankly, she made some mistakes, some rookie-type mistakes. She needs the laps in a situation like tonight.
Yeah, and that's what these short tracks are so good for in the ARCA Menards Series. We've seen so many drivers get their opportunity to go big-time auto racing in the ARCA Menards Series, especially on these short tracks, and Cadence is no exception to that.
All right, so they did get the 99 to pull down pit road. So that puts Lawless Allen where he needs to be on the track, which is third behind Reeves and Queen. They're going to take one more pace lap here. Maples, the 61-year-old from Choctaw, Oklahoma.
They're probably trying to change the radio because ARCA officials will not allow that car to continue to run if they know that there's no communication, especially with the spotter. Not necessarily the crew chief, but with the spotter.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Reeves on the inside of Brendan Queen. Queen started on the pole. Reeves took the lead away. Now it's Reeves restarting things under the green flag.
It's funny, I was talking to the crew chief of that 18, Matt Ross, and he said, we like those restarts from the outside. We lost the lead from an inside restart. It just happened again.
It did. Butterbean pulls down in front of the 18. And the pole sitter, Butterbean Queen, with 3 wins on the season, is back out front here at Elko.
How about LeVar Scott now? He's made it by Isabella Robusto, trying to get by that 20 of Lawless Allen to move up to 4th.
LeVar Scott on the outside of the 20 of Lawless Allen. Scott worked so hard to get past the 55 of Robusto. Finally did it on the restart, and now trying to put it out front of the 20.
He's going to have it. He's got a good angle up off the corner. He's going to have that momentum and grab that spot.
And LeVar Scott has been sensational early on as he moves into 4th.
How about Isabella's trying to grab that 5th spot from Lawless Allen. Teammates battling side by side.
Robusto trying to follow the 6. The outside lane past the 20.
Great side-by-side action here. You love a short track that these drivers can beat and bang, run side-by-side all the way around the racetrack.
Well, LeVar Scott was so good in practice, qualified 7th, which was a little lower than we thought he would, but he has made up the ground, and now he runs in 4th after passing Robusto and Allen.
Watching the 2 practices, I thought he had one of the best 3 cars here, truthfully, and he's showing it now.
Robusto able to get past Lawless Allen as well.
Ty Fredrickson now holds down that 3rd spot in that 25 car.
His dad told me, look out. It's his first time in an ARCA race in this type of car. He said if he figures it out in practice and qualifying, look out, he might win this thing tonight.
Yeah, and you mentioned that that's actually the 70 car that was run and won last week. Well, also Also, Shannon Rush is calling the shots on that 25 car. There was a switch as well, too. So Shannon Rush, who had a lot of success here with Jesse Love, won the race here a couple years ago with Jesse Love, calling the shots now for that 25 car.
Speaking of Jesse Love, good run in the Xfinity Series, finishing second at Pocono earlier this afternoon. Here was that restart.
You see that good bite up off the corner when they jumped in the throttle, and Butterbean's going to do a nice job from that outside lane. That's exactly what Matt Ross, the crew chief on that 18 car, was telling me worked so well for them last year. I'm really surprised that Max took the inside on that restart.
And then how about Robusto on the outside of Lawless Allen, following LeVar Scott through.
Let's see if she can pin Lawless down in front of that, or behind that lap car. She's able to grab that spot. Nice move there. Max Reeves all over the back of Butterbean's car.
A couple of Reese's sweet moves of the race, and perhaps another one coming right here. Visit ARCARacing.com Monday, 3 Eastern, to see who's crowned Reese's sweet move of the race. And he is right at the back bumper of the 28 car.
We know that young man at 15 years old, he doesn't want to run second. He didn't want to run second last week. He's going to try to make the move to the outside. Had a little bit of momentum there for a moment. He's going to continue to try to use that second lane. If he can just get his nose up next to the quarter panel, or even the rear bumper fascia on that 28, he'll have that spot. Now he's going to switch over to the inside. You're going to make a move on the inside, you're going to have to do it quick because there's so many lap cars and the speed differential is so great. You're only going to have a short period of time to make that move on the inside.
He gets to that back bumper again. The 18 looking to send it here into the corner against the 28 for the lead of this one on lap 56. Here it comes again.
Great battle for fifth. Right side of your screen, Isabella and Lawless Allen battling for that fifth spot. Super impressed with the job that Lawless Allen did last week at Berlin. Solid third place finish. Doesn't have all that much short track experience. I was talking to his crew chief, Kevin Reed Jr. He said he was really impressed with the job he did there.
Talking about Lawless, who's run a number of truck races throughout his career as well, and won at Talladega several weeks back here in the ARCA Menards Series this season.
Once we get some green flag running, these laps quick by fairly quickly, just over 15 seconds a lap.
Let's roll through the field here on lap number 59, starting with the leader, and that is Butterbean Queen by 3/10 of a second of the 18 of Reeves, the 27-year-old from Chesapeake, Virginia.
How about Max Reeves running in that second spot right behind Butterbean? Again, 3 wins, 3 starts in the East Series. He'll run some more National Series races later on, but doing an outstanding job. Look, did he just bounce off the wall in the center of the straightaway? I saw some sparks for a moment, but doing a nice job here.
And he's got Bobby Labonte as his driving coach, and Bobby is here tonight. That 18 of Reeves. Reeves just 15 years of age, as you mentioned, and the kid behind him is Fredrickson.
I thought he got it on the outside wall. Let's see if we can take a look. Definitely right there. You could see the car actually wobble, and you saw the sparks from the wheels on the outside wall. Doesn't seem to have affected the speed that much. He's still within a half a second right now of Butterbean.
And there is Ty Fredrickson, 16 years old, grew up just down the road in Northfield, Minnesota.
Really talented young racer. Talked to him in the garage here. He said he actually came here to run a super late model, blew that engine and actually put his crate motor in. Started way back in the field and fought his way up to 6th, so at least he has a little bit of experience here.
Had a great qualifying lap to start 4th here tonight. LeVar Scott is right at his bumper there, running 4th in the 6 car, the white and black.
Yeah, well documented that LeVar was so close to getting that first career win last year. You see his last 3 finishes. Every finish this year, 6th or better, and hoping to try to get that first one here. That narrow defeat last year is on his mind.
As he tries to get around the 25 of Fredrickson. Isabella Robusto in the top 5 of the 55 car for Venturini.
And we've talked about the fact that she's had so much bad luck. Had that great third-place run at Talladega, the highest finish ever by a female in the ARCA Menards Series. Had a good solid run last week. Remember, her dad was at the race last week, and he said he made Isabella's mom stay home to see if they could change their luck. But ironically, Isabella's mom is here.
Right.
I said, you mean he let you come? Yeah, that's it. I'm going to come when I want to come.
Lawless Allen trying to get to the bumper of the 55. He runs 6th. Finished 13th at Charlotte, 3rd at Michigan, 3rd at Berlin. Mentioned earlier he won Talladega in April.
He would really like to get by Isabella to try to grab that 5th spot. That would mean here we're going to have that race break in just a few laps, and that would mean he would be able to start on the inside. Again, I think it could be an advantage starting on the outside in the front row, but I'm not sure in the rows behind that being on the outside would be an advantage.
Again, 2 scheduled race breaks tonight. One at or around lap 75, the other at or around lap 175.
Yeah, these cars are running some really good lap times, very comparable to what Butterbean is running out front.
Taylor Reimer, former cheerleader at Oklahoma, and the 25-year-old for Buzzballs Toyota from Tulsa.
Yeah, so much experience, open wheel stuff. That's her background, open wheel midgets, micro sprints. First female ever to win a national midget race, and she did that at Millbridge in North Carolina, right near my home. And I've actually seen her race at Millbridge. She does a nice job.
So she runs 7th. Lap number 74. We are right at the point where we will see that scheduled race break.
I'd say probably this next lap we'll see that caution. You see Jason Kitzmiller right there desperately wants to stay on the lead lap before this caution was out for the race break.
Butterbean leads by 0.6 of a second on the 18 of Reeves.
There it is. Huge break for Kitzmiller.
Big time. Kitzmiller was losing some ground. He's in 9th behind the 3 of Willie Mullins. There is our second caution of the night. This one the first of 2 scheduled race breaks. Boy, we have seen fantastic action in the first part of this one. Off that last restart is the 18 of Max Reeves out in front of the 28, but then Butterbean returning the favor here at Elko. Elko Speedway, second caution. This one a first of 2 scheduled race breaks. The Short Lunch 250 presented by Dutch Boy on a hot 90-degree night as the sun begins to set here in Minnesota. Taylor Reimer and the rest of the field pulls down pit road. These are scheduled race breaks. And when you're talking about Reimer, I mentioned from Oklahoma, former cheerleader, 23 years of age. A lot of talent inside that 70 car tonight.
Yeah, without a doubt. She took about 6 years off from racing to concentrate on cheerleading and school. And once she picked it back up, it's been a meteoric rise, too. She's really does a nice job running the Chili Bowl out when they have over 300 entries. And again, getting her feet wet on asphalt, but doing a nice job running late models for Lee Falk back in around North Carolina.
3rd at Springfield last year. And good time to mention that these are obviously controlled pit stops here.
Yeah, they can have 4 crew members service the vehicle. They can put fuel in it and add tires. Only they can't do it simultaneously. They have to wait and do it. But these teams got 14 tires for the weekend, so more than likely they used up 4 tires in practice. So most of these teams probably almost exclusively will put 2 right side tires on at this race break. And then when we get to the final race break, they'll have 4 new tires to put on these vehicles. There you have it right here. You can change tires, add fuel. And the restart order is set by how they came down pit road. And this is just a cost-saving measure. You don't have to have high-priced pit crew members now, because you're talking about anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 for a pit crew per race. And you by the time you multiply that by 20 races for the ARCA Series, you can see how much money it would take to have live pit stops.
And that 25 car for Fredrickson was the 70 car last week which won. So we know it's a great car and a great young teenage driver in the 55 Robusto getting service as well. Second caution, 79 laps down of 250 in the Shore Lunch 250. Presented by Dutch Boy as we continue after this. Top 5 in points here in the ARCA Menards Series. I'm glad David Foster, our producer, got in our ears and moved us along, because we were about to get in a good baseball argument, a bet that I already lost against your Detroit Tigers a couple of weeks ago.
That's right. How about this point battle we had? We had 3 drivers come in here, separated by 7 points. You see our point leader, Butterbean, by virtue of those 3 wins. But Lawless, Allen, LeVar Scott, only 7 points behind coming in here. Jason Kitzmiller with a couple top 5s at Daytona and Talladega, running 4th right now, and unfortunately Andy Jankoriak is not able to run all the races, but he still hangs on in the 5th position. He will fall out of that spot very soon.
Talked to Frank Kimmel, the crew chief for Jason Kitzmiller in that 97 today. Thought that they had a car that was maybe 6th or 7th best, and that is roughly where he seems to be consistently a top 10 guy week to week, is Jason Kitzmiller. Talked to his son Isaac as well, who's having great success in the East Series, and
he's leading the points in the East Series.
Absolutely, and he's going to race at Dover coming up in a few weeks as well, so that'll be fun.
Again, such a great crowd on hand in this unseasonably warm weather.
My parents lived in this neck of the woods for 2 decades, and I texted my dad this morning. I said, "Yeah, it's 93 degrees here." He said, "Where? You're in Minnesota?"
No way.
No way.
Yeah, I think last year when we ran this race, and it was August, and at race time it was 70 degrees.
Amazing. A 23 to 25 degree difference. Off turn 4.
But you see Butterbean took the outside. That's where he grabbed the lead from Max Reeves on that last restart.
Green flag comes to the air at Elko. Butterbean in the 28 on the outside. Here comes LeVar Scott trying to pinch in there against the 18 of Reeves. It's Queen back out front. Reeves in second. LeVar Scott trying to hunt second. We've got our 3rd caution. And it's the 99 turnaround of Michael Maples, who had the communication issues early on.
Yeah, more than likely they got the communication issue figured out, because again, they would not let him go back on the racetrack until they were sure that he could hear his spotter. Michael raced for Andy Hillenberg fast track racing last year, but went on his own, started his own team. Nice looking equipment there. Had a 13th place finish at Berlin.
Yeah.
Just last week for his best finish of the year. Actually 12th at Kansas, a solid run on the 1.5 mile at Kansas for his best this year.
15th at Michigan as well. Yes, so 3 top 15s. 17th as well.
Some of this heat is maybe why these cars are not restarting. Obviously the starters get hot, everything gets hot.
You know, we talked about heat, and you were telling great stories last night when you and I were at dinner about Richmond the one time where I mean, it's real when you're talking about the physicality and being able to survive a race like this tonight.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you know, again, these races are physically demanding anyway, but when you compound that with a lot of heat, that's a double whammy. And I'm telling you, these guys and gals are earning their pay tonight for sure.
You guys didn't even have cooling suits back then. Can't imagine.
We did, but some of the I was surprised. We talked to some of the drivers down there in the garage area today, and then they have a cool shirt now, is what a lot of people use. And a couple of the drivers, like LeVar Scott, Max Reeves, were 2 of those that did not have any kind of cooling or whatever. And LeVar said, if I can't make it 250 laps here in this heat, then I'm not working out hard enough during the week. So, but that young man is in shape.
Oh, he's in shape, all right.
That's a gal that's in shape right there too, Isabella Robusto.
100%. So the 55 car, we're glad to see it, and it made it in time, but their hauler had an issue on the way here, started a fire on the highway, and a very challenging situation trying to get here just outside of of Knoxville there for the 55 hauler.
Yeah, just a little bit east of Knoxville. Unfortunately, you know, one of the team haulers was still back at the shop, and the guys were telling me that within 45 minutes of getting the phone call that they had a problem with that hauler, they had one on the road. They just had to line up truck drivers to get there, but they had another one on the road. They went, swapped everything out, and they got here in time. They weren't even late.
Yeah. You know, I was talking to Big Bill Venturini, and he's obviously going to take a huge step back after this season. He said, being at the track, I love it. I'm going to, you know, I'll still be around. I'm going to miss that portion. He said it's the stuff like that I'm not going to miss, because truth be told, he said about 45 minutes before that, the hauler of the 25 had an engine. It wasn't on fire, but it had some kind of an issue as well. So he was dealing with the issue on the 25 hauler when he found out that the 55 hauler was on fire.
Yeah, and this is one of the longest hauls they'll have this year. Obviously, they run Phoenix earlier in the year, which is farther, but I think this may be the second farthest run. That's what, 11 or 1,200 miles or something from Charlotte, which is where most of the teams are based. So it's a long run, and you, as an owner, you worry about that kind of stuff, and obviously it bit them, but they recovered nicely.
Isabella said her racing suit smells like smoke. She's tried
Washed
to run
it 3 times.
Yeah, it still smells like smoke. And they were worried, as you alluded to, about all the radios, but thankfully that they really didn't, you know, lose thousands of dollars worth of equipment.
Yeah, because they actually doused inside of the trailer down, but they said all the electronics were good. There was just a small spot that burned through from outside. I think what happened was it blew a tire, and the tire rubber wrapped around the axle, and that's what caused the thing on fire.
Give a lot of credit to those truck drivers. Going up, and you think about the Cup guys, the Xfinity guys last week going all the way to Mexico City. I mean, it's long, hard hours. Coming to green this time around, lap 89 in the Shore Lunch 250 presented by Dutch Boy here on Fox. Queen, the control car, the 28 Reeves on the inside. So again, Queen chooses the outside line as they come off turn 4. Back away here at Elko. And a good push from Wallace Allen on the outside for the 28. And now he's going to try to squeeze his car through there, that blue number 20.
Nice opportunistic move by Lawless Allen. See if he can keep that 18 pitch down. Now Reeves has that spot. Now look at LeVar Scott to the inside of Lawless Allen. Great racing on these restarts when these cars restart side by side.
LeVar Scott has been a man on a mission since the drop of the green flag. He came into this with a big-time chip on his shoulder after that 3-wide finish in which he did not win here last season.
Lawless Allen is doing a nice job keeping him pinched down, but not too aggressively.
Door-to-door, side-by-side. Good racing here between the 6 and the 20. And now the 6 slides him up the track slightly.
Yeah, just slight contact. This is really good, hard, short track racing right here. This is what it's all about.
And Robusto trying to take advantage in that 55 right behind this side-by-side battle.
I love a racetrack that has an outside groove like we have here, where somebody can hang in there or make a pass.
And now he gets a little bit sideways, the 6 of LeVar Scott.
He might have had a little help getting a little sideways.
20 got to his bumper and moved him a little bit up the track. LeVar Scott in 3rd.
LeVar has a little breathing room now. Now Lawless Allen has to worry about the 55 of Robusto.
Now Fredrickson wants a piece of the action in the 25. Meantime, Brendan Queen leads over Reeves by 0.6 of a second.
I don't think we've seen much more than about a second lead this entire race from 1st to 2nd.
Butterbean looking for win number 4 on the season.
And a little redemption, because he felt bad after finishing 4th, which is nothing to feel bad about, but nonetheless he felt bad about finishing 4th last week.
Well, he won at Kansas, and then Charlotte was running really well early on and just blew a tire and hit the fence.
Yeah, he's run well every single race. We talk about the 3 wins, but he's run well in every single race. Probably Berlin was his probably poorest performance, and he finished 4th.
Here was the 6 passing the 20. LeVar Scott making the move on Lawless Allen. Getting underneath that 20. LeVar Scott moving into 3rd with that pass, and then Lawless Allen right back to his bumper.
There's that little bit of a bump. Then I'm still here. I'm still around. But now LeVar has opened up over a second over Lawless Allen. That's about what the lead that Butterbean has right now, just shy of a second over Max Reeves in the 18.
You told me early on today, and we documented it, you thought that 6 car had the type of speed where he could contend for the win again tonight.
I did. I felt like the best 3 cars are running 1, 2, 3 right now. The 28, 18, and 6 were my best 3 cars during practice. They're still running some really good lap times as well. They're running in the 15:20s. That last lap, Butterbean ran a 15:26. That was a really, really good lap in practice.
Won at Daytona, did Butterbean, as well as Kansas and Michigan. And his post-race interviews are about as good as it gets in stock car racing for my money.
Heavy traffic from that Becker Monopoly right now. The 10th place car got well out of the way. Very classy move by that young lady.
She's had a good race, and she was good in practice as well. Qualified top 10 and running 10th right now.
There's big Willie Mullins right there running in the 9th spot. Willie had a top 10 here, top 10 last week at Berlin. He was a little short of help this year, so he called on Will Kimmel to come and crew chief for him here. We know Will had to pole at Charlotte and led a bunch of that race before he lost an engine, but it's good to see Will here helping out Willie Mullins.
That was heartbreaking for the 67 that night of Will Kimmel. I don't know that he was going to win the race at Charlotte, but man, it was cool to see him on the pole. We talked about what a huge upset that was, and then, as you mentioned, blew the engine early on.
But Willie doing a nice job right now, holding down that 9th spot. He is the last car on the lead lap right now, but he has about probably 6 seconds before Brennan would get to him.
Kitzmiller in the 97 running 8th.
Another solid run by Kitzmiller, no surprise. Good top 10 at Berlin. Last week we mentioned a couple top 5s earlier this year on the super speedways. Again, first time ever running all the races, running for the championship, and we can't talk enough about having a 10-time champion calling the shots and helping you out, Frank Kimmel.
5 top 10s this season for that 97 car. He began the night 4th in points.
This car comes out of the same shop that the trucks for Grant Enfinger comes out of. So I was talking to Michael Shelton, who was a former Truck Series crew chief champion for James Busher back several years ago, and how they pick at each other. The truck guys and the ARCA guys will, and he does both. He goes both ways, so how they mess with each other.
And Enfinger drove that 97 to a 2nd place finish at Charlotte, filling in for Kitzmiller that night. There's the 28, Butterbean Queen by a 2.5. He's got the lead. Looking for win number 4 in the season.
Yeah, just every lap, he's just a little bit faster than the rest of the field. That's why that lead now has grown to about a 2.5.
Driving for Pinnacle Racing Group. Stephen Dawson on his box here tonight. Fredrickson continues to run a solid race there in 6th with Taylor Reimer in the 70 behind him.
Impressive job by that 70 of Taylor Reimer. Again, first race in an ARCA car on pavement. She's running some late model stock races on pavement, doing a really nice job running with Ty Fredrickson, a very accomplished short track racer, even at 16 years old. And there's Kitzmiller right there, right behind Taylor. Hey, and a little shot to the back end.
Looking to move her out of the way, the 97. Looking for 7th. Good to see that 11 car, by the way, getting lapped, but still, before the race even started, He stalled on the front stretch. They were able to get him going. He's several laps down, but we like that Bison mobile for the North Dakota State student in mechanical engineering.
Running in the top 15, excuse me. As you mentioned, a number of laps down, but hanging in there as this battle continues for the 6th, 7th, and 8th spot.
Nearing the midpoint in the ARCA Menards Series, round number 8 of the season. From Elko Speedway with Butterbean at 2-second advantage on Max Reeves. Lap number 134, the Short Lunch 250 presented by Dutch Boy in the ARCA Menards Series, race number 8. Brendan Queen by 2.5 seconds on Reeves. Take a look at the Richmond mid-race report. We've seen a lot of action on the track. The top 5 and the top 10. A lot of good moves. Had the 2 leaders with Queen as well as Reeves.
4 lead changes. We have 9 cars right now on the lead lap. We've had the 3 cautions. Butterbean has led just shy of 100 laps so far.
And while we were away, a nice pass by the 97 underneath the 70.
Yeah, they've battled for a long time and very respectful, giving each other room. Kitzmiller did a nice job. There's a little bit of contact right there, and that was not intentional. He just slid up a little bit. But he was finally able to make the pass to grab that 7th spot and relegate Reimer back to the 8th position.
Kitzmiller started 7th, fell back a couple of spots, and now he finds himself in 7th once again. Butterbean by nearly 3 seconds. His long run speed has been very good here tonight for that 28 car.
You see Willie Mullins, that 3 car right behind. Now he's already gone a lap down. That leaves us 8 cars on the lead lap, and this was going to be the longest run. Remember, we had to break at 75, and then we're going to go from 75 to 175. So that's a 100-lap run, and then the final is going to be a 75-lap run after that second break. So this is the one where the guys really had to fight hard to try to stay in the lead lap, and that's what Kitzmiller and Taylor Reimer are doing right now, fighting really hard to hold on to the lead lap.
8 cars in the lead lap. Mullins first one a lap down.
There's Max Reeves. He's fallen now about 3 seconds behind Butterbean in that 2nd position. Talk about, well, he's in heavy traffic right now. They're all in heavy traffic all the time.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a disparity between the fast cars like our top 7 or 8 cars and a lot of the cars in the field.
Trinity, North Carolina at Cookout Toyota. 2nd ARCA Menards Series start after last weekend, his first, and an impressive runner-up finish. Talked about Bobby Labonte is coaching him. He's at the track here tonight.
I introduced myself and I told him that Bobby was my uncle. And he looked at me a little bit funny.
Yeah, he did.
And Bobby was obviously standing there as well. He looked at me funny too. So.
Yeah, he did. And with good reason. What type of, when we talk about Bobby being his coach, what are some of the things that he is imparting to this 15-year-old?
Just, racecraft and patience and things like that. There's just a lot of stuff. And Bobby watches practice. Bobby's here with him this weekend. He was with him at Berlin. He goes with him when he races, and he goes down in the corner and watches. So just a little nuance and stuff. There's so many little things that a driver can learn from somebody with the experience and the talent of a Bobby Labonte.
Former NASCAR champ.
How about Kitzmiller trying to get by Fredrickson to try to take over that 6th spot? I have a feeling that this battle right here may be for the free pass with the pace that Butterbean's setting right now. They're about almost 13 seconds behind Butterbean with about 27 laps to go before that break.
97 of Kitzmiller. Trying to get to the 25 of Fredrickson.
And you see these lap cars down on the bottom of the racetrack. They're not doing anything wrong. they're on the bottom of the racetrack where they should be, giving these faster cars room to race. You see left side of your screen, Taylor Reimer now almost 15 seconds behind Butterbean. Butterbean's lapping this racetrack faster than 16 seconds, so he's less than a second behind her.
You talked about it. He was not happy with his 4th place finish in his first short track ARCA Menards Series race last week. He's come out with a vengeance here 1 week later.
Yes, he has.
He said one big thing, it was the brakes on a short track with, for instance, in the Cars Tour where he's had so much success. The braking is different in this car on the short tracks than it is in that car.
He said the brakes in these cars are so much better than the late model cars that he runs. And he finally said he got here and it really dawned on him that he could really use the brakes to his advantage. He said, I don't feel like I did that at Berlin when I could have.
Miller's still trying to hunt down the 25 of Fredericks in the battle for 6th. Lap 155 here at Elko.
Taylor Reimer's been able to gain a lot of ground on these two cars that are battling so hard. She's only about a second behind that 25 of Fredrickson. She's really turning some good lap times. It's just that Butterbean is so fast in that 28 car. You see him left side of your screen. That's Butterbean, and that is Taylor Reimer. That's 70 right in front of him.
So he's going to try to put her a lap down here on 158.
Fredrickson desperately wants to stay ahead of Kitzmiller because I know that I'm sure the spotters are telling them that Butterbean is coming.
Butterbean can get around the 70. He is coming after the 97 and the 25, the 2 cars on the right side of your screen, and he does get past the 70 here of Taylor Reimer. Puts her a lap down.
There's a big gap in front of Fredrickson up to Isabella, almost 5 seconds. So if Butterbean is able to get by Kitzmiller and Fredrickson, whoever is ahead of that battle will get the free pass when that second race break comes.
And that's exactly why you were saying the 97 has been desperate over the last several laps to get past the 25 of Fredrickson.
You can see them, right? The Butterbean is the next car behind that 97 of Kitzmiller. You can see it right there at the start-finish line right now. About 14 more laps till that race break. They're good lap times that last lap by both Fredrickson and Kitzmiller. They ran about the same thing that Butterbean did, and Butterbean has clean racetrack as well. And I think Butterbean is savvy enough that if he gets to Kitzmiller, he's not going to push the issue. It's not that huge a deal for him to put that 97 car a lap down.
Kitzmiller working on the 25 again of Fredrickson. Again, the second scheduled race break on around lap 175, so about 10 laps from now. 97 gets to the left rear quarter panel, moves him slightly up the track. You can see the 28 coming into the picture.
The sense of urgency is growing.
Desperate times here with Butterbean in the 28 leading the race, trying to put the 97 a lap down, and the 97 trying to get to the 25.
Butterbean's going to try the outside, see if he can make his way around the outside. Kitzmiller's going to give him room. If Butterbean gets by Kitzmiller, then Kitzmiller's going to be a huge Ty Fredrickson fan for him not to go a lap down.
Again, first car, a lap down, would get the free pass.
Butterbean's making that outside work. He's able to get by Kitzmiller.
And now a good run right up to the bumper of the 25. Going to try to take him on the outside as well.
And see, for Kitzmiller right now, it's not keeping the 28 behind him. It's keeping the 97 behind him. That's more critical to him. Kitzmiller's doing all he can do to hang in there with Butterbean to try to follow him around that 25 car. Inside of 5 to go to this race break. Frederick's doing a nice job keeping that 28 behind him.
Talking about the 25 car, huge learning curve here tonight. And this is one of those. I mean, what great experience is this, trying to hold off that elite 28 car.
Been racing really hard with some really good cars all night too. So,
and again, this 25 car is the exact same car that had the number 70 last week that won with Drayton Lapsevich behind the wheel.
Don't give that bottom away, Ty. Keep that car on the bottom. About 2 to go. And again, Butterbean's not going to force the issue. It's not that critical to him to get by that 25 car.
Expect the caution coming up momentarily.
Probably one more lap. If Ty can hold him off one more lap, I think he's going to be good. And that puts Kitzmiller in good shape to get that free pass.
Going to go another here. There's the caution. So good job by Fredrickson, withstanding the onslaught of the 28. And as you mentioned, the free pass will go to the 97 of Kitzmiller, the first car a lap down. Second scheduled race break with caution of the night. Lap 175 with Queen in the lead on Reeves, and then Scott third, Lawless Allen fourth, and Isabella Robusto rounding out the top 5.
Going to be the last opportunity for these crew chiefs to make changes to these cars and try to do something to run with that 28, who's been the class of the field.
So it's Butterbean Queen in search of win number 4 in the ARCA Menards Series in 2025. Round number 8 on a hot night, short track style in Elko. 7 races into the season, our winners here in 2025, Daytona. It was Butterbean getting the job done.
And we moved out west to Phoenix, and Brent Cruz jumped in the 18 car and went to victory lane.
That was a phenomenal finish of that one as well. Lawless Allen under caution, won at Talladega, obviously biggest win of his career, and then Butterbean at Kansas.
Another first mile and a half for Butterbean. Then Austin Green wins on the mile and a half, his first ever ARCA Series win.
And then Butterbean with his 3rd win of the year at Michigan just a couple of weeks ago, and then last week in Martin, Michigan, Drayton Lapsevich in the 70 car took home the checkered flag, our last 10 series champions. And I want to highlight Sheldon Creed, your son-in-law there in 2018.
Yeah, did a nice job, and then came back a couple years later and won the Truck Series championship. But look at this list of drivers. So many of these drivers have won on into the 3 top divisions of NASCAR. Andres Perez hasn't got to victory lane yet, but he's doing a nice job running the trucks this year. Jesse Love's already won 2 Xfinity races, finished 2nd today at Pocono in the Xfinity race to a guy that won a bunch of ARCA races here last year.
Absolutely, and with
Connor Zilic.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nick Sanchez, already a Truck Series winner, running Xfinity. Now Ty Gibbs, we know what he's been able to do, Xfinity Series champion. Eckes battled for that Truck Series championship last year. Sheldon, as you mentioned, won the Truck Series championship a couple years after that ARCA Series championship.
It's wild how Eckes has had so much bad luck this year, but finally had a good result last week.
And this week.
And this week.
Yep, 2 in a row. Yep. And there's LeVar Scott. He had a good finish here last year, about 11 1,000ths of a second from winning. 11 1,000ths of a second.
I like that when we brought it up today, he mentioned it a couple of times to you. and I'm glad that you kind of let him down with, hey, look, because you're a guy that had a lot of success, but sometimes it's easier to remember the tough nights than the really good ones, unfortunately. Still looking for that first win. Under caution at Elko. back at Elko, the ARCA Menards Series on Fox. Finishing up our second scheduled race break of the night. With Butterbean Queen in the lead. Tremendous crowd here tonight. You see the 10 car pulling off a little bit late. Matt Kemp is the new driver. So Kemp is going to take over for Tony Mussolino, who is going to retire here tonight.
Well, we talked about the heat, and so many of these drivers are not used to this distance. I mean, Tony's not used to a 250 lap race. A lot of these drivers aren't. So I'm not surprised that somebody had to get out of the car, and what a great choice to put in. Matt Kemp had a top 10 run at Berlin last week. He has more experience. He's a two-time champion in a dwarf car, which is about 175 horsepower, kind of like a legend cars we have down south. But Matt Kemp has done a number of races, had a top 5 finish in the East race at Flat Rock for Andy Hillenberg. So good choice to put in this car. And he was in one of the cars that had mechanical trouble earlier for Andy, so he was here.
Yeah. So he started in 9 cars we showed you graphically there, but now after that car was pulled down and retired, he drives the 10 and replaces Mussolino.
The only thing we have to worry about is how well the seat fits for Matt Kemp. Back in the day, I mean, I relief drove for somebody Sam Ard, that was like 6'5", and I'm 5'10". But the seats were not tailor-made to our bodies like they are now, in inserts and things like that. So it's not a simple matter of just jumping in and going.
Pace car pulls down once again. Off turn 4, following our second race break at 4th caution of the night. Butterbean with the lead. Restarts on the outside of the 18 of Reeves. Green flag back in the air at Elko. Another great restart by the 28, and a nice push by the 20 of Lawless Allen on that outside.
How about LeVar Scott?
He pulls door to door with the 20 of Allen, tries to get underneath the 18 of Reeves. LeVar Scott looking for second place here.
LeVar Scott got to the inside of that 18. Look at that forward drive on those new tires up off the corner.
Fredrickson now door to door with a 20 as he looks to get into the top 4.
Use those new tires when you got them. Now's the time to make it work. How about LeVar Scott?
LeVar Scott, not just second. He wants first place here. Gunning for his first career win. Goes door to door as he slides just a little bit. Door to door with a 28.
Talked about that was the last opportunity for these crew chiefs to make adjustments. It looks like the adjustments short run wise on that 6 car worked.
Side by side racing for the lead. On lap number 186 of 250. LeVar Scott trying to edge out in front of the 28 of Butterbean.
Again, great side by side short track racing. LeVar almost has him cleared. He's got him now.
The 6 in the lead here at Elko.
The new country heard from for Butterbean. He hasn't been around the 6 car much this race. Look at LeVar Scott now. What a great job. He's inside, side by side, the 18th per second, but just wraps the bottom, pulls right up beside of that 18 of Butterbean. Stayed there for a couple laps, finally able to clear the 28.
Great racing.
I think that's got to be a nominee, wouldn't you say?
Reese's sweet move. You got it. We've had a lot of them tonight.
There he's finally able to clear Butterbean up off the corner.
LeVar Scott started 7th, and now he's in the lead by a half second. Visit ARCARacing.com Monday, 3 Eastern to see who's crowned Reese's sweet move of the race, and that one right there will certainly be one of our nominees.
For as much as of this race last year that LeVar led, only to lose it so narrowly at the end. You know, is he having flashbacks right now?
Well, he's got to be.
And doing an awesome job.
Chris Wright and Sawallich with that 3-wide finish. Sawallich took home the win.
There's a good battle right there. That's for 4th, 5th, and 6th. All 3 teammates for Venturini's.
25 of Fredrickson, the 20 of Lawless Allen, and the 55 of Isabella Robusto.
Remember, Fredrickson was on the verge of getting lapped at that last caution, but had a great restart Let's grab that 4th spot.
Lamar Scott by 0.6 of a second in the lead. Battle for 4th continues between the 25 and the 20.
We've had a lot of really good racing all over the racetrack. Not necessarily for the lead all the time, but it seems like that battle for around 4th, 5th, 6th, side by side for 2nd.
Reeves to the bottom of Butterbean, trying to take over 2nd from Brendan Queen. And they bang doors off the turn.
It just seems like whatever changes they may have made to that 28 car did not agree with it, at least in the short run.
He was great in that long run, the 100-lap long run in the middle of this race. But you're right, he's in danger of falling back to 3rd. And Reeves edges out in front and moves into 2nd.
Well, the complexion of this race has sure changed.
LeVar Scott in the lead, Max Reeves 2nd, and Butterbean, who has dominated much of the night, falls back to 3rd.
Yeah, Max was able to get to the inside of him. They raced side by side, then used up a little bit of room here coming up at the corner. Squeezed Butterbean just a little bit to grab that spot. Just a solid short track pass right there for Max Reeves. And oh, by the way, he's chasing down that 6th of LeVar Scott. We're going to have a 3-way battle. Well, we did last year.
We've seen it.
It shouldn't be a huge surprise, but we're going to have a 3-way battle for the lead here momentarily.
Less than 50 laps to go here at Elko, shaping up to be a phenomenal finish once again.
LeVar Scott looks in the mirror, sees that 18 car, said, oh no, not, talk about a flashback.
LeVar started 7th, has worked his way all the way up to the top spot. Obviously some good adjustments on that last race break, but same for the 18. And now Max Reeves, who finished runner-up last week at Berlin, wants to take over the top spot here at Elko.
Well, that 18 car came to life here in the last 5 laps.
And he does, taking advantage of the lap car. And now he dives to the bottom, the 18 of Max Reeves, trying to take over the lead of this race. And Max Reeves back out in front slightly here at Elko.
LeVar said, where did he come from?
And he is clear of the 6. Reeves out front, 46 left.
We talked about the 3 keys to getting around this racetrack. Comfort getting in the corner, that center turn, and forward bite. And right now, that 18 car has all 3 of those.
Now Butterbean going to battle back against the 6 of LeVar Scott.
Yeah, it looks like LeVar Scott's really fallen off. Maybe that's why it was so good on the short run. Now he may be paying for it on this longer run.
Butterbean clear of the 6. And he moves back into 2nd now, sets sail for the top spot once again as Scott falls back to 3rd.
Take a look back at how the 18 of Max Reeves grabbed that lead from LeVar Scott. He erased that 1 second deficit in a hurry and then jumps to the inside and able to make the pass.
So Reeves back out front by a half second on Brendan Queen, then Scott. Lawless Allen in 5th. Robusto trying to take that away from him.
This battle continues. I think these 3 have been battling ever since the restart. The 25 of Fredrickson, 20 of Lawless Allen, and Isabella in the 55.
Again, all 3 Venturini teammates.
Isabella's keeping the pressure on Lawless Allen. If he slips the slightest bit, she'll take advantage of that.
We talked off the top that perhaps not the quality depth that we get every week in this series, but we knew we had 6, maybe 7 really good race cars, and we're seeing the cream rise to the top here late once again.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it's funny because as we mentioned, the 3 cars to me that showed strength in practice are the cars running 1, 2, 3 right now. But LeVar Scott has really fallen off. He may fall into the clutches of this battle right here before too much longer. He's almost 3 seconds behind our leader Max Reeves right now.
So whatever the adjustment was, to your point, they're paying for it now in the long run.
It looked like it certainly helped him in the short run, but maybe hurt him in the long run. But I like the fact that they tried something.
Tried it, put him out front for a couple of laps. Now it's Reeves once again, followed by Queen and LeVar Scott in third. 34 to go with the 18 of Max Reeves out front. 15 years of age from Trinity, North Carolina.
Trying to be one of the youngest winners we've ever had in the ARCA Menards Series. I don't know if anyone will ever beat Todd Gilliland's record of 15 years in 1 or 2 days. It was in Toledo, and he was in Toledo for his 15th birthday and raced maybe the next day or the day after that. There's a Butterbean right there, no stranger to winning races on the short track. Cars Tour champion last year. Three-time winner, as we've talked about already in the series.
Feel like he's going to have something to say before this is said and done in the final 30 laps here.
He's matching the lap times right now of Reeves, but he finds himself about 85 hundredths of a second behind. Now, I told you that LeVar Scott would fall into the clutches of that battle, 4th, 5th, and 6th. That's Fredrickson right now in the 25, all over that 6. I'm telling you, the 6 has really fallen off. He may have a slow leak or something like that because his car was so much better than this and the entire race till now.
25 trying to rip the bottom and get underneath the 6 and put him another spot down.
I'm looking out our window and a heavily favored Fredrickson's crowd here cheering this pass or potential pass on LeVar Scott.
Just down the road in Northfield, Minnesota.
His fans here are loving this.
16 years of age, running for Venturini here tonight.
Wallace Allen going to try to do the same thing, try to grab that 4th spot. They're lining up on the bottom, ganging up on that 6 of LeVar Scott.
I'll tell you, Fredrickson got a top 3 here tonight. They got to feel really good about that, I would think.
Absolutely. See Wallace Allen doing his best to stay off of LeVar Scott as they lapped around that 10 car. I just don't think LeVar has much to fight with right now.
He's just holding on to it at this point.
Just barely holding on. There he loses that spot to Wallace Allen.
Now Robusto trying to do the same.
Yeah, we'll lose that spot to Isabella as well.
I don't know, though. There's a pretty good gap now here when you're talking about to stop the bleeding here between that 6th spot and Kitzmiller.
Yeah, with only, unless we get another caution flag, well, there he's going to try to fight back on the outside, but again, I don't think he has the car to do it. Yeah, unless we get another caution, I think he should be able to hold on to this spot. He's not giving up on these 2 cars as well. He's trying to run the top of the racetrack, trying to find a little bit more grip, a little bit more speed.
Wallace Allen in the 20 up to 4th. Robusto running 5th, and then LeVar Scott has fallen back to 6th after leading just a short time ago.
Right now, Isabella trying to match that 4th place finish she had here last year if she could get by Wallace Allen. Inside of 20 to go. A little bit of a bumper action there by Isabella. always gets a little iffy when it's a teammate.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of good, clean racing here tonight all over the track, which you've talked about.
Yeah, very respectful.
18 to go. This is the battle for fourth. Up front, it's Max Reeves with a 2.5-second lead on Brendan Queen.
Yeah, Butterbean was able to hang in there for a while, but he has lost the pace now, as you mentioned, almost 2.5-second lead.
Runner-up last week in his first start in the ARCA Menards Series. Looking to do one better and win it here tonight in that 18 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. At 18-1 here last year with William Sawalich, who took home 9 victories in the 18 car in this series and moved on now full-time to the Xfinity Series.
And 14 starts.
Amazing.
9 victories and 14 starts. But right now, counting the east wins that Max has, if he could hold on and win this race, he'll be 4 for 5.
To go. Reeves leads over Queen and then Fredrickson.
There's Butterbean. You see him about 2.5 seconds behind. He needs a caution right now is what Butterbean needs. Give an opportunity at another restart.
One more shot at it off a restart. He's been really good here tonight on restarts at 28.
And it's not unprecedented that we get a late caution flag in these ARCA Menards races.
Yeah, when it was 7 laps left last year, we had lightning in the air, and then we ended up with a 3-wide finish.
We had lightning on the racetrack, too. 10 to go. That's LeVar Scott just about to get a lap down, so there has to be something wrong with that car. That wasn't an adjustment that made that car fall off as much as it has.
And Kitzmiller did get around him. He's dropped all the way back to 7th. Final car on the lead lap in that 6th car. Meantime, Fredrickson, what a drive for him tonight. Has moved it up to 3rd after a great qualifying effort this afternoon.
There's Lawless Allen just a couple car lengths behind. Remember, every position is a point. Butterbean's led this race, so he gets a point for that. Right now running 2 spots ahead of Lawless Allen. That would be 2 additional points. And get the pole.
Yeah.
Well, that's another additional point.
Absolutely. Lawless running 4th in that 20 car for Venturini. Trying to hunt down the 25 of Fredrickson.
There's Isabella right back there doing a great job running up in the top 5. This would be her 2nd best finish of the year, behind that 3rd place finish she had at Talladega. There's Isabella. Like Lawless Allen was right on the rear bumper of Fredrickson, right in front of Isabella.
Great battle for 3rd with Robusto lurking there.
See Lawless trying to get to the bottom of the 25.
3 to go here. This is the battle for 3rd between the 25 of Fredrickson and the 20 of Lawless Allen.
And the last car to get around. Lawless going to use the bumper.
Looking to move him here. Gets shut off on the bottom. 25 trying to block him, but slides up the track. And that opens the door for the 20.
Just eased that bumper into that rear bumper of that 25 car. They're going to stay side by side.
Final lap, meantime, here at the front with the 18 of Max Reeves. Down the backstretch he goes. Off the turn, the 18 of Max Reeves wins here at Elko in the 18 for Joe Gibbs Racing.
See how that battle for 3rd goes. Lawless Allen able to get by that 25. Isabella's trying to get there as well.
Didn't quite do it. Lawless did. He finishes third. Fredrickson settles for fourth. And Robusto fifth. But it's Max Reeves in the 18. Second last week. And a winner here tonight for the first time for him in the ARCA Menards Series.
15 years old. It's amazing. He's not able to drive yet on the highway. He might have his permit. I don't know,
but he can do it on this highway. 3/8 of a mile, shortest track on the circuit, and he was masterful in the final stretch of this race. The burnout for the 18 of Max Reeves burst onto the scene with a runner-up last week in Marne, Michigan at Berlin. Does one better and takes home the victory at Elko. ARCA Racing on Fox is brought to you by Reese's. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Reese's Not Sorry. And by General Tire. Hashtag GT Delivers. Well, Max Reeves delivered here tonight in front of these fans here in Elko, Newmarket, Minnesota. The Short Lunch 250 presented by Dutch Boy. In victory lane, it's the 18 car and Max Reeves for the first time in his career.
second consecutive for that 18 car here at Elko.
So Wallich did it last year with a 3-wide thrilling finish, and Max Reeves comfortably in the closing laps to close it out here tonight. And Max Reeves making his ARCA Menards Series debut last Saturday night in Berlin, finished second, and this week he takes home the victory for the first time in his second ARCA Menards Series start. What a thrill for the 15-year-olds from Trinity, North Carolina, for Joe Gibbs Racing. Matt Ross is crew chief, and he joins us now. Max, congratulations on a huge win. What does it mean to you to win in this national series in the ARCA Menards?
It's crazy, you know. I won in the East 3 times in a row. That was awesome. That was crazy, but to win in the national series like this is just awesome. I was just letting them get a chance, get their hopes up. That's why they got away from me, you know. But I turned it on at the end, and I'm so thankful for all my crew and my dad and Cookout. Cookout Camry was fast. It was a good night.
Well done, and very nice of you to give everybody else an opportunity.
And how about your crew chief, Matt Ross? Did he, if you made any changes on that last pit stop, man, they sure worked. That thing was on a rail.
Yeah, we turned it on at the last pit stop, and they did the right stuff. Thing turned on.
All right, Max Reeves, congratulations on the win. Enjoy it here.
Thank you.
Just 15 years of age, takes home the victory at Elko. Shortest track on the circuit, 3/8 of a mile, and he was masterful after that final race break. Over the last 75 laps of the 18 car in victory lane. Once again, Reeves wins it. Butterbean settles for second after fourth last week at Berlin.
Yeah, another solid third-place finish from Lawless Allen. Ty Fredrickson makes his debut with a top 5.
And Isabella Robusto rounds out that top 5. Jason Kitzmiller and then LeVar Scotts struggled towards the finish. More to come from Elko next. Eight races now, 12 to go. The ARCA Menards Series rolls on next week. 4 Eastern FS2, Lime Rock Park, the first of 2 road courses. The Dover, July 18th.
The Monster Mile.
The Monster
Dover.
Mile. And then IRP is always fun. Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park, the 25th of July on FS1, 5:30 Eastern of the green flag of that one. So some fun races coming up. 12 races left, and Max Reeves has burst onto the scene the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, without a doubt. We knew that he had some talent because we knew about those 3 East Series wins, but showed up last week at Berlin, did a great job, really a heady drive to finish second, and he would not be stopped here tonight.
You think Butterbean is disappointed with second? He was disappointed with fourth last week.
Yeah, I think without a doubt to lose control of this race. He had control of it. To lose control of this race, I'm sure he's disappointed, but again, second place finish is nothing to sneeze at, and certainly helps him in the points, and he'll win more races this year.
Lawless Allen was able to finish third, a last lap pass on the young Ty Fredrickson, the local boy who gets fourth Round Rock Park, 4 Eastern, FS2 next Saturday, June 28th. Our next stop here in the ARCA Menards Series in 2025. Phil Parsons and our entire Fox Sports crew, I'm Brent Stover, saying so long from Elko, where Max Reeves takes the checkered flag.